we're back. My next guest tonight is a contributing editor for This American Life on National Public Radio. Her latest book is a very funny collection of autobiographical essays called Take the Cannoli. Please welcome Sarah Vowell. You got out here fast. Most guests take their time. You ran.
Speedy.
Because you
I'm
knew
American.
Yeah.
Fast.
You're like, let's get into it. Let's go. I understand, I don't know if this is true, but of course you're usually on the radio or you're writing, that taking the photo for the book jacket in this book actually stressed you out. Why?
Well, you know that phrase, face for radio? I have a little acquaintance with that phrase, but I got this really good photographer, and she took a really nice photo.
She did take it. I think you look fine. I think you look great here. But I also think this is a cool photo. This is very, look at that. That's very menacing too. Sort of like, come hither, you know? Yeah.
Well, I look really calm in that photo, but actually, I'm sort of slumped over this velvet hump. You know, all contorted, I'm giving myself
velvet hump?
Like I'm giving myself the Heimlich maneuver. You know, those photographers, they just have stuff. They just have velvet humps.
They lean
around.
you over stuff to take the photo. I understand.
I could do the whole show like that if you want.
We should start doing it that way instead of a seat. Just have someone come out and lean over the velvet hump.
Yeah.
And then talk.
Maybe the stage could be called the Velvet Hump.
It already is. Now. Anyway, you went to, someone told me, I'm into this stuff, I'm a Civil War buff, that you went to Gettysburg last week. Why'd you do that?
It was the 137th anniversary of the reading of the Gettysburg Address.
Which we all knew, and everyone else is like, right, Conan. And so this was obviously, what do they do to celebrate? Well,
there's a ceremony, but you can also go to sites, like I went into the room where Lincoln stayed the night before when he was polishing the address. And there's this chair and this little table, and he's hunched over it with a furrowed brow, you know? And he's one of my favorite writers. And I hadn't really thought of him so much as a writer until I went in that room, because, like, my editors call me and say, how's the story? I'm like, oh, just polishing, but, you know, it's not even started. And he's, like, in the room the night before, like, holy moly, what am I going to say?
Yeah. You know that he pulled an all-nighter.
He did.
He was like, I got the address, because it was really short.
Yeah, really
He just
short.
blew that thing off. He just totally blew it off and did it. And he was, though, he totally blew it off. He was writing it on the way there, you know?
Yeah.
He was. They found a keg in his room. He was one of the greatest speechwriters ever. You said you admire his writing. He wrote his own speeches, unlike today. Great, great writer.
Yeah, but you know what people don't know? You know how when they imagine Lincoln, it's very stentorian, like Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird.
407 years ago, right.
But according to his Springfield law partner, he had a really squeaky high voice, almost a girlish voice.
That changes everything.
In other words, I believe that he sounded exactly like me.
Plausible.
You know, 407 years ago.
So
I'm just sitting around waiting for Ken Burns to call, but...
Right, and so that you could do the voice on the new documentary.
I could kick Sam Waterston's ass on that voice.
I would like to see that. Now, you're researching an article now. You write on every different topic. You're researching an article now on first aid.
Well, I'm doing these stories for Time where I go learn stuff, and I went and took CPR with the defibrillator. We didn't talk about how to pronounce it, just how to use it.
That's not necessary when saving a life.
So I show up, and they make you go around the room and say why you're there. And everyone else is there to, like, help people. And,
Get to hell with that.
And I thought my real reason would sound shallow.
Which is I want to use those shocky things on somebody.
Like how on ER it's like, clear, and it looks so super cool. That's why I was there. But it came to me, and I'm like, that will sound shallow. And then, so I just say, my sister just had a baby, and I don't want to kill my nephew. And they're like, well, it's nice you're here, but you might want to think about taking infant CPR.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, my parents have one foot in the grave, too. You know? You know how How you try to finesse a situation
Sure,
with
yeah,
a
that
little
went over.
jokey joke.
Yeah, how'd that go over?
It was like all sadness, and they all gave me their sympathy.
Oh. Well, what's the coursework like? What do you actually have to do besides getting to shock things?
You watch these videos with really bad actors, like, you know, my arm, or there's this
A
one,
guy just says, my arm?
a French fry cook, and there's this one where, you know, a guy's carrying stuff and his friend says, let me help you, and he says, no, I got it, and then, you know, down the hill and we learn how to make a sling,
right.
or like we learn how to clean up blood spills.
Really?
Bleach.
Bleach gets blood out?
Yes.
Ready for my next murder. 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 You know there's someone watching at home like, bleach gets out blood, you know. You should see the people that are watching.
I'm about sharing information, you know, communicating.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. This American Life, the world tour is going to be at Town Hall in New York City, December 10th.
That is true.
And, yeah.
So
tell me when
true,
when these things are true. And Take the Cannoli, it's a really funny book, is available right now. That'd make a fine Christmas present, if you ask me. Sarah Vowell, that was great. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks.
Nice to have you. We'll take a break, everybody. We'll be right back. Stick around.